My little chef.
All right. And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of The Couch Show.
Happy Thursday, you beautiful people. Mm. All right. Intros.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, welcome to the channel, Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray.
Through this channel, we just aim to be givers. We're givers of love, givers of good vibes, and givers of good conversation, of strength and good conversation. We're starting today with a reaction to a video that was sent to us from one of our viewers. Let's pull it up. Get right into it.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me check to see if we're live.
Oh, wait. Womp womp.
All right. Pulling on our channel. I see. Make sure audio is good.
Testing.
Test. I see audio. Audio sounds good.
Testing.
All right. Yep. Good. Thank you for saying that, Lynn. All right. So we're live. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right.
My little partners out here, get home safe, all right? I'm sorry y'all gotta be going through see all this shit. Okay? Get home safe.
A lot of kids on that
School bus?
bus. Oh, wait a minute.
We gotta walk through this shit. Come on, man. These little kids gotta walk through this shit. This shit is crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna let it play without the audio. The first thing I noticed, I was like, oh wow, there's like a lot of people on the bus. You know, it's just a crowded city bus. Everyone's coming off. I guess everyone's done with school, heading home. And then when he turns the camera here, I'm gonna pause it right there. Wow, that's crazy for it to be like right there at the school bus. So it looks like, it looks like some people who are maybe homeless. Maybe the guy in the middle here might be doing something. I can't even tell what they're doing, but the fact is, like, it doesn't look safe. It doesn't feel safe. I wouldn't want to walk past them. So for little kids to be getting off the school bus, trying to go home and having to walk past this, it's really sad, you know, and it's one of those things that makes you question, like, why is it that as a country, you know, we're sending so much money overseas when there are issues right here in our backyard that need to be, you know, taken care of.
Because we keep electing politicians. We got to start electing leaders. Politicians, especially career politicians, they're just worry about, you know, lining the money in their pockets. Especially, you know, the president of the United States. He's shown that he's corrupt. He's part of a corrupt family with his son. I mean, he's sending money to the place that he has business deals with. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy that we don't acknowledge this. And you know what's even more messed up? That after this video came out, I guarantee that the politicians in where's this in? California, I'm guessing.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, it looks like Cali. I guarantee the governor and because he's another he's another POS, but he's gonna go send out people, and he's gonna tell them or he's gonna send the police, and he's gonna have the police like push these people away,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they're just gonna usher them to like 2 blocks away from where this bus stop is.
Right.
So it's like they're gonna be like, oh my goodness, oh look what you did, you brought attention to this, and instead of fixing the internal problem, right, they're just gonna push it away from where it was. That's it. I've seen it numerous times where they do that,
A little
and it's like,
band-aid.
man, yeah, not even a band-aid. It's like worse than a band-aid. It's just like a political stunt. Like, oh, we got caught, so now let's, you know, turn on some cameras and show that we're trying to do something, even though we're just pushing it 2 blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Fuzz. Hey, Tadashi. Welcome back to the show. We are doing a reaction video to a video that Fuzz sent us through email.
Yeah.
So,
But said most people die of overdose than COVID in San Fran. Oh wow.
and study shows that in the last 2 years, drug use has been picking up,
It's
especially
increased. Yeah.
fentanyl. Yeah, I've heard fentanyl is a big one.
Let's
It's
do
just
a
it's
weapons.
more. Oh, LOL. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, it's just picking up more. And it's sad because, they're not going to address these. They're just going to talk about the things that they feel is going to get them elected. So, like
Hmm.
California, and you know what? California is eating themselves. It's a blue state. It is a blue state, and they continue to like blue. They're talking about running their governor, right? Who's I won't come out and say it, he's a piece of shit, but now they're talking about him as the possible candidate for 2024. Not Biden, because they're gonna figure out a way to get him out of there. Not Kamala. They're looking at him, and it's because he's a Democrat and he's somewhat attractive. So they're like, oh, he's gonna be, he's gonna look good on the camera. But he was a real piece of shit because during lockdowns he had double standards.
Mm.
Like he would be going out no mask. He would be going out against his own curfews and lockdowns.
Hmm.
So it's like good for you, not for me kind of mentality.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. And the crazy thing about it is that, oh yeah, hey, hello, nobody. Welcome back to the show. He's like, hey, what's going on? So let's kind of explain. Let's go back and explain what because it's like for anybody who's tuning in, 6
Yeah. So we
minutes
were
into it.
just watching a video that was sent to us by one of our viewers. Fuzz sent it via email. And we're just reacting to it. So it's a scene from California. It's a few kids a lot of kids coming off of a
Play it
bus.
again. Let's play it again. Let's play it again for anybody who just walked in. Let's play it again.
Let's see.
Watch it again. It's sad because it's a cramped bus, and it's like, is that even safe? Oh, then you got to change the screen. Yeah,
Safe, all right?
Oh, you guys can't see it.
yeah, we can't see it. And then mute the audio again, so that way.
All right. So all the kids coming off.
Oh, yeah, as you can see too, California is still enforcing masks on children, which is
Hmm.
disgusting because children are the most vulnerable, but yet they're the least infected by Kofifi, right?
Right.
So the fact that they have them wearing this mask, which is showing that it's causing lung issues, the 2 years that we were wearing them, and then yeah, they got to get off this bus and see this. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and it's like that's where we got to start bringing attention to these politicians.
Hmm.
We need to start electing leaders. We need to stop, like, going into the voting box and saying, oh, I'm just going to vote blue across the board and keep
Hmm.
electing the same people who's been in there for 10, 20, 30 years, and they haven't done anything. The records show that their best interest, because like these guys are making money. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She has like one of the best trading portfolios on the planet. There's actually people who watch her portfolio, and when she makes moves, like hey, like she just bought Nvidia stocks right
Hmm.
before they just passed a bill to say that the United States are gonna create more semiconductors, right? So she's doing inside trading. So there's a lot of people who are just following her stocks on Twitter and saying, "Hey, buy this because Nancy Pelosi bought it."
Mm.
So it's like you got these politicians who are just looking out for themselves. It's like we need to decide, we got to wake up and we got to say, "Hey." But it takes people. It also takes more people like this guy on Twitter who posted this video and then it started trending, right? And now we're talking about it on YouTube. This is what it takes. It takes a lot of people like that to call to attention and say, look at the hypocrisy that these leaders are talking about, or these politicians are talking about, because they're not leaders. Sorry. Like that's what it takes. It takes a lot of channels, and it takes a movement from us to take it back and say, hey, look at what's going on. Because I guarantee the I call them the normies, the people who don't really follow anything, the people who are like disconnected from everything. They are just going in and they're just like, I gotta elect blue because blue has my best interest. When blue is just everything is falling apart in blue, and it's not just California. Baltimore is like that too. New York is like that too. You know.
Nobody's asking what they're doing. I went down through the comments a little bit, and it says, obviously, I can't find them right now because why
It
would
looks
I?
like they're mostly homeless. There's
Yeah, they're
probably some
mostly
drug use.
homeless.
I don't want to make an assumption, but there's probably some drug use. There's probably yeah, they're just sitting around. They're just homeless, and they're all. But the thing is like that's not just this block. And this is what I was saying earlier. Like California government is going to come out. They're going to move those people out of that block, and then 2 blocks down, it's just going to be just as bad. There's lots of blocks like that. Trash is rampant in California. It's like that in New York City too. I think New York City might be a little bit better, but it's going bad, especially after the BLM riots. A lot of stores shut down. They were
Mm,
boarded up. They're still
yeah.
boarded up. Like remember when we went to the city and we saw a lot of stuff that was boarded up. A lot of those stores never came back. I heard Starbucks was trying to be very PC, and they were like, "We're going to open our bathrooms to anybody," because somebody complained. It was like, you got to have a code to get into the bathroom, and that's I don't know what they said. Oh, it's racist. Oh, it's oppression. Whatever the terminology they wanted to use. But then Starbucks buckled and said, "All right, we're going to open up all the bathrooms." And now, one, you're having anybody come into those bathrooms. Bathrooms are being used for drug use, and now it's endangering the staff. So what I heard was along the West Coast, I think in California, a bunch of Starbucks are now shutting down.
Mm,
So it's like their bottom line is taking a tank. Like they're hurting. Like they can't provide the security. So now they're shutting down. Walgreens is the same way because Cali has a law that states if you steal anything below $1,000, they can't call the cops on you.
right.
So there's tons of videos on Twitter of people just walking into Walgreens, grabbing things. The security guard is right there, and nothing's happening. They're just stealing whatever they want to steal, and they're walking right out.
Mm,
So I mean, this is remember the whole abolish the police movement they had?
right.
Remember the whole lax on crime? This is it. This is paying off. Which ironically, in New York City, which I just heard that the charges would drop, and that's awesome. But in New York City, there was a bodega owner where there's a video showing that somebody was trying to rob him, and he shot the guy in self-defense. And the state, New York City, New York State, New York City, wanted to prosecute that guy, and they were bringing up charges. And because the video went out there, and people started, protesting and talking about it, and, it went viral. They
Mm-hmm.
dropped the charges. They dropped the charges yesterday. So it's crazy. It's
It
crazy, and
is
it's heartbreaking because it's like
we should feel empowered by things like that. Being able to defend what's yours and protect your own. Like if somebody makes a stupid decision to enter your property and try and
yes.
take your stuff, and they meet their demise, well, that was where they were.
Well, I think it's because New York has a messed up law where if it's a business, it's not considered your property. Even though it's your business, it's not your property. It's not like a castle law where it's your home. So they're like, oh, you should just take the hit from the business, from the insurance. But it's like, listen, these guys had enough is enough. We had lockdowns. We had riots, right? Because that's all I'm going to call it. They're not protests. They were riots. We had lockdowns. We had riots, right? Now we have lax crime. Now we have inflation. It's like these owners are going through so much just trying to survive and have a business. It's like enough is enough. You trying to rob my stuff? You put hands on me, I'm gonna defend myself.
Yeah.
And that's what the video showed. But they were trying to bring him up against murder.
Wow.
Or manslaughter or whatever. I didn't me. I don't read the details. Because I know it. I know the article that made slander this guy, and it's like, first off, he's a bodega owner, so he's a Hispanic, right? He's a minority or something, and it's like you want to slander him because he defended himself, because you want to have this narrative about guns. So that's why I don't read the headlines. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to.
Dashi said, sad to see something like this. Yeah, we opened with a heavy topic today show.
We did, but you know what the sad part about it is, if it actually touches you, if you actually see it, this is how we got to make change. And even you guys at home, the best way you can make change is by viewing these type of videos and sharing these type of videos. Because the more we share these videos, the more they start to trend, the more we hold those politicians that are in office, the more we hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Because once again, like Newsom, he's a really bad governor, and he's about to run for president. So this is the way that we tarnish his image. We not tarnish his image, but show his record. Show that he doesn't do anything for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's hard. Like, once again, this is a really hard way to start the show, especially if we're a show that we're trying to be about positivity. But in the same sense, too, we want to make change. We really do. We're genuine. We're saying we care about you guys. We care about the world. We care about our people. We do want positivity. But how can we have positivity when we know that there's people in this world that are hurting? So how do we bring that attention? We bring that attention by watching these videos and sharing them. There was a good-hearted brother who recorded this, right? He got off that bus and he recorded it. Why? Because he genuinely cared about those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so he recorded it. And us as people with good hearts, we should just watch it and share it. We should talk about it. That's the things that we have to talk about. Because in society, we don't want to talk about stuff like that. We want to talk about what's the new movie coming out this Friday? Nope. We want to talk about Nope, right? We want to talk about partying on the weekend. We want to talk about, yesterday I took my youngest to Legoland. Let's talk about having fun. Let's talk about stuff like that. We don't want to talk about this stuff because this stuff is hard. It's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, and it's happening. It's happening every day, and it's right here too. It's close to where you live. It's, places that appear prominent. Because you think, oh, San Francisco, that's a a nice area. No, it's not. We can't make these assumptions based on like landmarks and things.
And actually, like it's funny because all the problems that they like to talk about are happening in real big urban areas.
Yes.
Like your pollution, right? The whole pollution crisis, that's in urban areas.
There's just too many people.
Yeah, we need to control urban areas better. And in a weird sense of way, we need to have more cities. We need to spread out people more. Like, I get it. People like that city, all access type of lifestyle. But we just got to have more cities that we can spread people out, because it's just like it's New York, the city, LA, all those big urban areas that tend to run blue that are just messing everything up. So we gotta fix that. We gotta shine a light on that.
The producer. There was a black cat on screen. Oh, geez.
Is that good luck or bad luck?
Oh, and he came back. You guys couldn't see him because he's small, but he's right underneath my camera. He's on top of my keyboard, pushing buttons. He muted me. No, he didn't. It's one of my foster cats that hasn't gone away. He left and he came back.
No, that's isn't that Shadow? That's the one you like.
No, that's not Shadow. That's a kitten.
Oh yeah, Shadow's much bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now I put two and two together. Like, wait a minute. All right, so taking a pivot from something deep as that video. But look, I like talking about everything. We got to talk about those things like that. We got to shine light. And thank you, Fuzz, for sending us the video, guys. If you want to send us any other videos, we'll check our emails. I know I'm a little slow in checking the emails, but we'll check in. We'll get to it. We'll react to anything, especially if it's something that's trending and we need to talk about it. So, what did you do yesterday, Lynn? I know you weren't home because we stopped by. We were stalking you.
Yeah, I went to the bookstore. I went to a few places yesterday. I was just out and about, enjoying the day. Putting some miles on the Mustang. Had my windows open.
Oh, you're welcome. LOL. Yeah, I tried showing this background because this is where that's my back deck, by the way, and I love seeing the view. Just waking up. I'll go out there. You can't really see the chairs because it's washed out, but I go out there. I get my tan. I love it out there. Yeah, that's my motivation. Which is funny because like I'm out in the middle of the woods, and so like for me to do anything, it literally takes me an hour drive. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I love it because it's and I'm the type of person that really likes to be in the city. I'm a city mouse, if you want to say it, right? But lately I've just been gravitating to the country and to like the lakes and the ocean. I don't know. I'm getting more in tune with that whole like just nature, which I noticed that more people are like that, tend to not worry about like just life in general. It's like, how can I be stressing about everything in the world when I have such beauty behind me, So it does keep me my peace. But yeah, thank you for that.
All right, it looks so beautiful. You should show us around someday.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll take maybe I'll do a show by the lake one day. Wake up early and then we're at the lake and I'll just show you guys the view.
All right, the producer, did you guys hear that some states are going to ban contraception?
I heard that
As of now, only condoms are off the table, but they are working on banning those and also banning gay sex.
I heard that the White House wants to um, declare a state of national emergency for contraception. I'm like, really? That's a state of emergency? Okay. And then I heard that Congress is looking to pass a law for same-sex marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's getting crazy.
It's so confusing. I feel like we're we're kind of stuck on the same things. Like if they just passed a law that allowed same-sex marriage, why are they now worrying about trying to reverse that?
They did it. This is what the problem is. The problem is everything that's happened in the past has happened through the Supreme Court, right? Mm-hmm. Which is not official. The Supreme Court should only be upholding the Constitution, right? So the proper way to do this was they should have made an amendment into the Constitution saying, hey, gays has equal rights as straight marriage, right? Mm-hmm. Which I don't see why that would not pass as an amendment, right? I believe women's the amendment that acknowledged women as equal women, as equal to men, that was passed as amendment. The one that acknowledged black minorities as equal to white men was passed as amendment. These are the type of things that have to be passed. Sadly, yeah, it's discussing that it has to be passed, but it has to be cleared out for law, so all across the board, right? You can't just go and say, hey, this is a constitution right when something's not written in the Constitution. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that the Supreme Court did was said, hey, it's not in our jurisdiction to deal with this, because they were getting sued by other states saying that you don't have the right. There was cases coming up to them, and they were saying like, look, it's not in our wheelhouse to do this. Mm-hmm. So now it went back to the states, and as the states, more states go extreme because each states are going extreme, and it's crazy because I see the left, who still, abortion is still 100% legal, but they're going like way into it because they're in that cult mentality. So they're going something where it's like, okay, abortion at 12 weeks. They're not saying like you can abort from like 1 day prior to giving birth or something like that. And that's crazy because that's a living baby inside of you. Like you could take that baby away from you, and if it can survive, like why would you kill it?
Yeah.
Like why, if it could survive without you, why would you kill it? Why would you not take the baby and then give it up for adoption or whatever? Mm-hmm. So, I'm happy in the sense that the Supreme Court is following the down to the letter what they're supposed to do. Now, what Biden and what Congress, what they want to do now that it's left leaning and left controlled. I'm hearing that they want to pack the courts. They want to do all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's scary because if they do that, then it's only going to be one-sided from now until the end of time. I think they're scared of what's going to happen in November.
The producer's saying it's Kansas, Kennedy, Kentucky. I don't even know these states. Louisiana, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Dakota.
Well, there was 20, I think it was about half. It was like about 25 states that came out. And right when the Supreme Court made their decision, overruling Roe v. Wade, they came out and they said, look, abortion is illegal. Mm-hmm. Right off the bat. I believe it's like 25 of them. I know Texas is one of them. And Texas is really leading this charge. But once again, the federal government is going to have to figure itself out, because the fact that it's on the states, which I'm all rooting for the states, but now we're going to have something where people are crossing state lines, and when something is illegal in one state and the crime is committed in another state, how are we going to enforce that, right? So I feel like there's going to have to be some kind of law that comes out, or possibly if they really want to make it a constitution thing, pass an amendment. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Well, Sarah just said, generally, most women will not abort at that point. When a fetus is that far along, The only reason to abort is if the mother will die or if the fetus will be born and not survive in that time.
Yes, you're right, and I do want to say that most women do have a sense of decency, right? That will say, "Hey, I will give the child up to abortion if I pass the term to abort." But it's just crazy that these politicians are even considering it. They're even thinking about it. They're even talking about things like that, and it's only for like a counter argument to what the other states are doing. And I feel like that is the state of where we are in politics. It's like when the left does something, the right has to, counteract. When the right does something, the left has to counteract. And now we got this like it fast forward all these years to where we're now in this like weird um, sense of civil war, right? It's a weird sense of uh, like futuristic civil war because we're not like fighting with pew pew, but we're fighting with through discourse. We're fighting through social media. We're fighting through the culture. We're fighting through all this stuff, and it's weird. It's weird because whenever one does something, the other has to go and do something even more extreme.
Mm-hmm. The producer said, but it's not even about talk. It's not even the abortion point anymore. They're completely banning all types of birth control. So it's not even, it's even before the fetus has been.
Well, we have to pull something up on that one because I haven't really heard about that. All I've heard was abortion overall. They're looking to actually they're really going in on it. Like anybody who actually um, does the procedure in any of these states, they're looking to get them for not like murder, but like manslaughter, I think.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah. So it's getting hardcore out here, and it's hard to I don't really know where I hear both sides of the argument, and it's really hard for me to, especially going through 2 years of hearing that but for me I feel I am a little bit biased when it comes to all this stuff because I had to walk away from my job last year because I refused to take the vaccine. And so when I hear all these arguments where it's like my body, my choice, but then you see the same people who are like, hey, force the vaccine, it's kind of hard for me to now take sides, Like I was I don't want to say I had that victim mentality, but I feel like, where were you guys to support my choice to not take this vax? So but I'm hearing all sides of the argument. I know I took a very strong stance in the beginning, but now I'm hearing more stuff, and just hearing overall, and I really don't know. I really don't know. It's like if these are the people who are voting in this state, and this is what they want, I don't know. I don't know how to lean. That's how I'll leave it.
So there's definitely a buzz. I'm just looking at the dates, and it looks like the 18th. This was back in May. This one's in June. But birth control restrictions could follow abortion bans. As states ban abortion, demand for contraception is rising, which should be a good thing because that means, I feel like ultimately that was the goal. Instead of, having abortions, how about you just not conceive at all?
Let me ask you your opinion, Lynn. What about the stories that are coming out where you hear that women are getting procedures to get their uterus removed because they know that they're not going to ever have a baby, and men are actually going and getting vasectomies now that this has passed. Do you think that more people should do that? Do you what's your take on that?
I think that's definitely a very personal choice. Even me, I have 3 kids and I don't plan on having any more children. I feel like I'm done, but I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't make the choice to take that piece of my body out.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's extreme. There are people who don't even have children who know, they don't want to be a parent. They don't want that responsibility. They don't want that lifestyle. So I don't know. I feel like, taking your entire system out of you is a bit extreme, but it's definitely a personal choice. If that's what you want, the technology is there.
Well, I do have to commend them. I have to commend them in the sense that they are, listen, this conversation, and I hate when people are like, I had an accidental pregnancy. It's like, no, you didn't. If you're having sex, you're getting pregnant. This should be the mindset you have in your head. Sex equals pregnancy. That's what it was built for. I don't understand these people who are just like, oh my God, I had an oopsie. I don't know. I wasn't expecting, because you weren't expecting it. You still had sex. That equals pregnant. So every time you're having sex, you should be like, I'm getting pregnant. Or even men, guys, every time you're having sex, you should be thinking to yourself, she's gonna get pregnant. When you have that mindset, that's when you will have the conversations, and that's when you'll stay taking the responsibility in the bedroom, because this all starts in the bedroom. You'll take
Mm-hmm.
that responsibility to say, hey, you know what? I'm smacking out a condom to make sure she doesn't get pregnant, right? And I get condoms break, people do, things happen. But once again, that's a risk you're taking if you're having sex. So now
Right.
these people are stepping up and saying, hey, look, I want to have all the sex I want to have. However, I'm going to take the mechanism to get pregnant out. So these people are going in, getting their uterus removed and getting vasectomies, and I gotta commend them in the same sense. Look, it's crazy because now you're applauding, just an abundance of sex, which, like, once again, I said, us as humans, we have a weird obsession for. I don't know why we have that. It's in society, it's everywhere, but regardless, they're stepping up and saying, look, the conversation starts in the bedroom.
Yeah. Tadashi has a question. So he says, is abortion legal or illegal? I still don't know. Can someone explain me about what's happening?
So all right, so Roe v. Wade, when it was actually passed, it made it legal as a constitutional right across the board. So federally in the United States, federally, it was legal across the board everywhere. Overturning Roe v. Wade only made it state legal. So it took that federal level away. That went away, and now it's at the state level. So at the states, there's 50 states in the United States. The states can decide if they want to make abortion legal or not legal. So most of the states that was legal before, like blue states, they're still legal. And then actually, what I'm saying, they're going to go even further in, and they're going to make it legal to like late term. And that's, to me, that's crazy. But yeah, they're doing that. The other states, more of like your conservative red states, they're now making it illegal. So you're seeing like a lot of companies that are coming out. I know Google, Apple, they're all coming out and they're saying, hey, we'll fund for you to travel somewhere if you want to get an abortion. Well, that's another thing. Like, how if you have employees in Texas and it's illegal there, like there's companies who's going to be funding a crime. Like, how do you enforce these things? I don't get this. Like, this is getting crazy. Like, something has to be resolved.
Sarah says a huge part of the country doesn't even have birth control education. When I lived in the Midwest, a lot of students I went to school with from Wisconsin said they were only taught abstinence, which is crazy.
Yes, and I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And I honestly, not only do we have to have more sexual education, and we have to, and look, the sexual education needs to be like, don't have agenda with it. Because that's another thing. Like, we're having agendas in these schools, and now they're talking about like all kinds of sex, and it's like you're confusing it. Let's talk about the sexual education that will give you the preventative mindset so you don't get pregnant. Let's talk about that, and that's still a man and a woman, right? Let's not inflate the waters here. Let's talk about it straight, shoot it to these kids to know, like, hey, look, when you're gonna do this, it's going to cause babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I would say is we also got to take it a step further, and we got to talk to these kids like on a mental level, as far as like, why do they feel like they need to have sex on a constant basis? Yes, I get it. Sex is great, but a lot of these people are addicted to sex.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where both men and women are having high sex counts, up in the hundreds, 300s. This is crazy. Like, why do you need to feel like, after a while, you're going to be really detached to the whole act in itself, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to be detached to these people that you're just sleeping around with. Like, it's crazy. Like, we need to start talking as a society. Like, what's the mental, like, reasoning behind that? Because the same way that we know that people self-medicate, with drugs and alcohol because they have an underlying issue, there's people that, self-medicate with sex because they don't want to feel that pain, or they don't want to feel alone, or they don't want to feel that anxiety, or whatever it's inside. Like, we need to start talking about those things too. So yeah, Sarah, I 100% agree. We need to have better sex education.
But I also think against nature. Use protection if you don't want kids, right?
I agree. I agree.
And kind of that's where like this conversation started, is because now they're saying like they're threatening to remove the protection portion of it. So you're not allowed to stop having children. And I mean, well, you're allowed to stop it. You're not allowed to stop a pregnancy. And now they're going to say you're not allowed to prevent it either.
Right. So I feel I don't like I said, it's getting crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a stance in the beginning, but now I'm starting to hear more stories, and like it's getting crazy. Like there was there was a story of a 10-year-old girl who was raped, and she ended up getting pregnant, and
Mm-hmm.
then she had to she had to cross state lines to get an abortion, and now they're trying to like bring charges against that doctor, and it's crazy. Like in that scenario, and once again, those are like the outlier scenarios. But when that scenario happens, we need to get out of the way. We need to
Yeah.
fix what was wrong. Like that little, she's too young. My whole argument was like I believe like if you're at an age where like 13 or older, like you're mentally capable of like if your body's saying hey you're ready, then you're mentally capable to raise a baby. But at 10, man, that's too young. That's still a
Yeah.
child.
And like our children are developing quicker because of the processed food that they're consuming.
They
All
are.
the things that we're pumping into our animals,
I mean,
to
if
make
we
them
want
grow
to,
bigger and quicker,
yeah.
it's being
Well,
transferred into us.
I if you look at a photo, there's been photos floating around on Twitter where they were saying, what's going on with with Americans, whereas, in the 70s, there was a photo and it was like about like 100 people on the beach, right? And not one
Mhm.
person was fat in that photo. Yet now, fast forward, we're all obese. Why? What's going on? We need to start studying that. We need to start looking at what's going on. And it's all this processed food. You're right. It's food to make the animals bigger. It's the food to make us bigger.
Yeah.
You're constantly seeing women, young girls who are like super developed at a very young age. It's like, what's going on here? What's making their hormones, activate so fast?
Hmm.
But once again, those are things that we don't talk about.
Yeah. Because our children are also starting to hit puberty at younger ages.
Yes.
They're just developing too quickly.
Hmm.
And then when they're being thrown into a society where, every time you look on your phone, they're talking about sex, they're pushing the, hey, have sex, have sex, have sex, wear no clothing and, be
The
promiscuous.
sad,
That's
the
so
sad part about it is if there was, let's say there's a young girl who tries to go to school and she wants to be conservative, right? She wants to
Mhm.
be, maybe it's just her being shy, and maybe, she wants to lean more into being like a girly girl where she wants to be in it, like dresses and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like conservative dresses, that little girl's gonna get made fun of,
Yeah.
which is crazy because she's tapping into that femininity. So even the sense of being feminine is being attacked in our day and age. It's like I don't get why, like, we want our children sexualized. That little girl will be pushed into wearing, belly shirts and like provocative clothing when
Mhm.
we should encourage to say, hey, look, be feminine, wear a nice, summer dress. Look, as a guy, this one thing that drives me crazy is when I see, a woman and she's walking down and she has like a nice summer dress in summer. I'm like, wow, like that's amazing. With
Mhm.
the floral, like southern, yeah, ladies, you guys definitely know how to do a summer dress, and I love it. Like Lynn, she does her summer dresses, and she'll have the hat to go with it. And I don't know, to me, it's something that's like, wow, it's like, you know, and that's the beauty of being like feminine, right? That's that feminine energy. Like you,
Mhm.
ladies, you know how to work all the seasons, right? You know how to tap into that. But I feel like even like being feminine nowadays is bad. It's like they
Yeah.
want women to have masculine energy, And it's like it doesn't make sense to me.
Mhm. Well, since men have so much feminine energy, it's like, oh, hey,
That's
why don't we
another
just
thing
share it
too.
across the
Yeah,
board?
we are promoting men to be more feminine. Like, oh, be in touch with your emotions, and it's crazy.
Jeez.
Like, you'll hear it in men's tone, like they really don't have that base anymore. Like, even if they're straight, they still act like you would assume. Like when you see them, you would be like, "Are you gay?" And the guy's like, "No, I'm straight." But then it's like, why do you have such feminine energy? I don't get it.
Yeah. A nobody. Yeah, I'm like 26. And wait, he hit puberty around 17 or 18. He's 26 now, but he knows some kids who hit puberty around 14 and 15. But even
Well,
that's late because,
yes,
like we
yes,
just said, like
that's late.
this 10-year-old who was taken
Hmm.
advantage of, she had to be menstruating in order to
Right.
conceive.
And that's that.
Agree,
So
agree.
take it a step. So nobody, you were a late bloomer, which is nothing wrong with that. You know,
Hmm.
I was in around the age around like I think I was like 13 or 14, which 13, 14, 15, that's like the norm.
Hmm.
But now we're taking it even younger. These kids are going through it, 10, 11, 12, and
Yeah.
that's crazy because you assume, okay, when you hit teen, like when you hit 13, that's when you'll hit puberty, and but no, it's something in the food or something we're doing in society that's forcing us to our bodies to grow a lot faster.
Hmm.
So, and once again, that's something that we're not talking about. We're not talking about as people. And we keep talking about the same rhetoric that just creates decisiveness in society instead of talking about things that we can all come together as a society. Why is that? Well, that's by design. They want us fighting with each other.
Yeah, we're divided, right? Divided we fall, together we stand. Together we stand, divided we
Exactly.
fall. And
Exactly.
if they keep us divided, if they keep us choosing sides on different topics, different isms, then we're not going to come together. We're not going to have the strength to stand up against our government or whatever powers are at play.
Right.
Because we can say all day, like, oh, it's the government, oh, it's the businesses, oh, it's this, it's that. The fact is, like, we're all humans walking on this earth, and some of
And
us have learned how to, create control and create
and
scenarios.
right. And unfortunately for us to wake up a lot of people, it's gonna hard times. It's gonna take hard times. And sadly,
Mhm.
I hate to say it, but it's gonna take hard times for people to start unplugging and being like, why is this happening to me? And oh wait, because we let it happen. Okay, so
Mhm.
how do we fight back? Oh, we fight back as a community. We take back our community. We take back what's ours, town by town by town. And I'm not saying it as oh, let's fight, let's be violent. No, I'm just saying let's unite. That's what it takes. It takes us unification, us
Mhm.
talking, us having the town square, us introducing each other. That's another thing. Like a lot of people, we don't know our neighbors. Shit goes down. That's when we start talking to people. That's why we say, hey, who you are, and it's a common struggle that makes you forget, who, what is going on with everybody else, right? When there's a struggle, when there's a common struggle, trust me, because I've seen it when I went through boot camp. When I went through boot camp, and it's like, oh my God, this sucks. And now we're all together here, and we all got to get through this so we can get out of here. And that in those 3 months that I was in boot camp, man, everything was subsided. Your differences, yeah, of course, I was in a room with nothing but guys, right? But I had white guys from down south, I had black guys, from Detroit, I had all sorts of guys, right? All up in there, and we had to figure out together and be like, all right, what's your weakness? What's your strength, right? And work together to get out of that struggle. So that's what's gonna happen when hard times comes a knocking. That's when you're gonna start to see the strength of community. That's when you're gonna see everybody come together. It's gonna be. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a man, black, white, whatever you are. All your differences are gonna be set aside because we have a common struggle that we got to work together to
Mhm.
figure out. So unfortunately, that's what's going to take to unplug a lot of people because a lot of people are still plugged into what social media, TikTok, right? All these things that says if you're white, you should hate yourself. You have a what's the word they like? Um,
I
white
mean,
privilege.
I think it's mainly, social media because we have it at our fingertips and because, things travel so quickly. It's acting like a virus, and it's infecting a lot of people and it's changing their mindset. It's, putting certain messages in their face over and over and over again. It's the media. And that's the
It's
scary thing.
it's not just that. It's a lot of things, Lynn. It's the academia, right? It's our universities. Our
Okay.
universities are gaslighting our youth. They're saying these things. There's programs that are doing all this. So
Hmm.
they look, they got the words that know how to trigger people. They know how to gaslight people. They know how to say things. It's in the news. It's in the universities. It's in our politicians. It's everywhere at this point. It's bad, and it's like you see it in like I see it a lot through pop culture, right? Because
Hmm.
I'm a nerd. I love to watch movies, TVs, and all this stuff. But I can go and I'll say like this recent Obi-Wan Kenobi show, right? I was
Mhm.
like, this character was poorly written, but because I say, oh, it was poorly written, right? But now it was a black female character. Now I'm racist, and they'll call me, oh, I'm cis white because, and I'm like, wait, but I'm Hispanic. But no, 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 now you're white. They're doing that now. They're moving the goalposts. But they're saying like now, Hispanic guys who are white are now part of being this white supremacist. So that's what
Mhm.
they'll call me. They'll be like, you're a white supremacist and you're a racist and you don't like her because she's black. And I'm like, oh, and you're a sexist, by the way. And I'm like, but I don't like the character. She's poorly written. I think
Mhm.
she would be poorly written if she was a white dude. It's just poorly written. And then how can you have discourse when you get to this, quickly get into this whole gaslighting and go this name calling and you want to label people? That's why I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't care what label you give me at this point.
Yeah.
Because you've called me so much and you said it so many times that it's like, look, if I have an opinion, I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand by it. And I don't care. Call me whatever you want to call me. Like, she was poorly written. You got to write your characters better.
Yeah. That's why I say, like, know what you stand for. You'll fall for anything. Because in that example there,
Amen.
like you feel like, hey, it was poorly written, but if you just continue to hear the rhetoric, the verbiage and everything, you're gonna end up hating yourself. Like, oh man.
Amen.
When
Yes,
the
you're
issue
right.
really is like, hey, and we're seeing it in politics too. Our politicians are like, hey, we have to, find a black female to do this. It's like, you sound dumb. You
Find
sound
the person who's
none of
qualified for the
that.
job, right?
Yeah, none of that matters. It comes down to who the person is.
Right.
Yeah, so if the character sucked, the character sucked.
But yeah, I feel like I don't know. It's like I want people to start unplugging from stuff and stop. One thing is I want people to kill that whole like victim narrative that they have in their heads. And once
Hmm.
again, it's all the programming. It's all by design. It's this like you're not. It's listen. America is a beautiful country to be in. Like we live in a day and age where we have luxuries that what a few years ago was unheard of,
Hmm.
right? We have cell phones, right? We have communication. We have the all information in the palm of our hands, literally in the palm of our hands, right? Think about what researchers and scientists had to do back in the day. Like they had to go through books and books and books and search to find an answer. We now
Hmm.
got Google to find things. We have articles. We have all this at the access in our hands. It's like we got to give ourselves more. Like we got to give ourselves the props to know as human beings we are fighters,
Hmm.
right? We fought from day one, right? That little sperm that fought amongst all the other ones. We've been fighting since day one. The fact that we're alive every day we wake up, we're fighting. I told my kids this the other day. I'm like, look, you could look at it life very negative because every single day somebody's dying, and you could be like, man, life is so negative. Every single day somebody's dying.
Hmm.
However, you could be very positive and say, man, every single day somebody's being born. Life is being created every single day, right? So it's your outlook. It's the way you see things. It's how you rewire your brain to say, I want to look at things. Um, but
Yeah.
are we
LOL is
happy
paying
with such
forward.
luxuries around us? No, I saw tribal people more happy and satisfied. You're 100%, man. There
Yeah.
are people who chase after. Listen, I was there. I was in that boat. I chased after all these trinkets. I chased after all the titles because that's what society told me to do. And when I chased after it, I was in this like cycle of repetition that I was bored. I was like, yo, this is so mundane to me. Is this what life is all about? I don't
Yeah.
want to do this. I was ready to check out. I told Lynn that. And it wasn't that I was depressed. I was ready to check out because um I was just bored with it. I was like, there's gotta be more to life than this. And that's what we're told to do. It's like, oh, get that 9 to 5, get this, get the family, get the 9 to 5, get the titles, get the job, get the degree, get all that. And then when you do all that, you're like, then what? What am I supposed to do? What's my purpose? And like we're not told to say, hey, what's your inner calling? Go gravitate towards that. Go find that. Stoke that fire, right? We're not told to do that.
Hmm.
That we're told to like, oh, that's a hobby. You're not gonna make money with that. Put that away.
Right.
it's like, it's sad as a society we don't do that. That's why, like, I love encouraging my kids. Like my youngest, he just made his own breakfast this morning, and
Mhm.
he's 9 years old. He's cooking. The other day he made a banging dinner, and it's like I wanna stoke that. He wants to learn how to be a chef, and he may change his mind. But until then, I bought him. He bought his little spatula, a frying pan, a knife. We're getting ingredients. We're looking at recipes. Like I want to promote that because that's where he feels passionate about. But we
Mhm.
don't do that as a society. We don't. But yeah, I wanna definitely tell you guys, chasing after the trinkets, chasing after empty love, which is sex and partying and all that stuff. I don't think you guys are like that. You guys gravitate towards us, so I think you guys have been heightened to see everything around you, that there's more to life than just that. Because I
Mhm.
hear time and time again, a lot of people are just empty. They're just empty. Guys who like you, like the eight guy that you're like, man, this guy looks good. He has a good job. He's making good money. Ladies want him. Guys want to be him kind of dude. And he's miserable at the end of the day.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm not happy. I feel alone. That's what these guys say. I feel alone. But
Mhm.
you slept with like 5 different women this week. No, I feel alone. There's nothing there. They don't know who I am. Nobody knows who I am. That's what these guys say. It was
That's
like,
crazy.
do you know who you are? That's the question. Like, do you know who you are? Do you love yourself? They think they love themselves, but they just love the whole process of it all.
Mhm.
They need that was it that instant gratification, not instant gratification, but they need that, like they need
Validation.
a validation, right? They need
Mhm.
validation because they're not happy with themselves. Thank you. And I was stumbling with my words.
Yeah. Yeah, because they find themselves, they feel they found success, you know, it came naturally or easy to them to be able to
Right.
pursue the career and get the title and get the things, but ultimately on the inside they're broken. They're
Hmm.
they desire that connection that we all desire, and it's something that's hard to to find.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know who you are.
Who? Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, don't say it on here. I don't want YouTube to know. That's funny. That's why, like, I'm excited. Like one of the things I want to see with this channel as we grow it is I want to promote people to be creative. Like I want to
Mhm.
see fan artwork, right? Like that'll be dope to see
Yeah.
somebody like draw us or do something like that. I want to put that on a T-shirt and stuff like that. Like I want to get those kind of things. I want to see those kind of things because I want to promote those kind of things.
Hmm.
Because once again, like which is weird because like our most famous people in society, the people who make like an abundance of money, right? The actors and the musicians, like they make it big, but we don't promote that because we know how hard it is to break it in those industries, right?
Hmm.
Like if you see a kid who just loves to play his guitar or something, we don't promote that. We're like, listen, you need to get back into that rat race because I did it and my grandpappy did it and that's all I know. So go
Yeah.
do that because this is not realistic. Like why do we say things like that?
Well, we're taught to say things like that, we're taught to, even through like our schooling, when funds are cut, the first thing they cut are the arts.
Yes.
They feel like, oh, that's not an important part, but that's a huge piece. Look at music. Music unites us. You can hear music in a completely different language. You don't know what the hell they're saying, but you look around at the people who are enjoying it, and like, you
Hmm.
see just just their enjoyment in their face and their mannerisms, and you connect with those people.
Right. And it's crazy how universities, like, let's say you're an athlete, like you're a superstar athlete, right? And you get this free ride, because you're on a sports scholarship, right? And
Hmm.
now you're playing, college ball, right? You're playing football, whatever, and you're this super athlete. And like, you got to maintain your grades, but it's all academics, right? and it's crazy because I think you need that trifecta, which we always lose, that the third one, which is, spirituality. It's your soul, right? We lose that one. We say, all right, we gotta challenge your brain through academics, right? We gotta challenge your body physically through, sports or whatever you're playing, right? But we don't talk about, hey, now go through. It's mandated for you to get this free ride. You got to go through like an art program, or you got to go through a music program, and you got to challenge your creativity, and you got to, awaken your soul.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we did that, like we enforce the arts more, I think people will more be more in tune with their soul, and I think we'll have less of like this, like, you know, I don't know. I think people will have more tolerance for each other. I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe a lot less people would be self-centered too, and be like this weird, because we are getting into a society where there's a lot of people who are narcissists,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy because I'm like, I always think about, I put others before me, right? I've always had a bad problem like that, even like bad relationship. I'm like, oh, let's make it work. I always put other people before me, and I just see it the opposite way around. And it's like, how can you function around other people when you're always putting yourself first?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a strange concept because, we grew up the way we did. Like, it's what we saw. It was our environment that created us. Um, I mean, we didn't grow up in an environment that creates narcissists.
I know, but what's
Hang
creating
on.
that?
So, Ma, I missed her comment earlier, but she said, "Good morning, my wonderful children. You guys make me very proud and happy. Thanks for being my kids."
So I saw my yesterday. Thank you for the comment, Mom. We love you. Um, what was I saying? Oh, I saw my yesterday, and I wanted to say that she's very happy with all the engagement that we have.
Mm-hmm.
She's happy that we have all the people watching us. She's so ecstatic. She was just talking about that, and then she was talking about the names and all the people and everything, and yeah. So I want to say, everybody, that my mom says thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
Thanks for riding with us.
And nobody. Oh, hang on. Nobody said, like you said, nobody knows who I am. He said, I know you're a great man, right?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. And you know what? You all sound like great people. And like I said, one day I would love to, as this gets moving, I would love to have an event where we do one of these live in front of you guys, and we just sit here and we just shoot the shit. Like, it's because of you guys. It's because of you guys that keeps us motivated. It's like, I generally want to help people. And, Lynn's the same way. We just, we listen. I know Lynn's a fighter. You push us the wrong way, you're gonna see her Latina side come out real quick. She'll cut somebody. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we were raised in a way where we see things differently, and we want to share that with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, you guys all walk away from the show, and you like, there's a little ray in the back of your head that says, hey, let's just be positive.
Mm-hmm.
A little Lynn saying, yeah, be happy.
So Acmator, I pulled it up. Nowadays, it's hard to see night sky full of stars. That's true. Like there's just so much light pollution. And I don't know if you're talking literally or
Figuratively,
yeah,
that can go both ways.
You sure
Let's address
can.
it both ways, because honestly, if you're talking about figuratively, like with people, you're 100% right. Like you see a lot of people and they seem so empty. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why, like I kind of I tend to be a lone wolf. I'm an introvert. I'm very recluse. I mean, I'm like that with my whole family. Like they gotta like seek out me sometimes. Like, hey, are you alive? Like, yeah, I'm alive. I'm okay. I'm doing my own thing because that's how I am. I'm just a very homebody type of guy. But when I do go out and I want to go out, I just see so many people that are just, like I said, they're very self-centered, they're very narcissist, and it's really hard to find good people nowadays. And when you do find good people, when they gravitate towards you, hold them close. I have friends that when they do reach out to me, and I know they're good people, I may not reach out to them, but when they do, I'm like, yep, let's go do something. Because these are the type of people you got to have in your life. You got to have good people. you know. And you're right, it's hard to see stars amongst, you know, all the darkness that's out there, and more people are gravitating towards that darkness. And that's the reason why, like, me and Lynn, we said, like, yo, let's do this show, because, you know, let's start a movement, let's start something where it's positively, let's make those stars, you
And
know.
positive energy is just as contagious. You
It
know,
is.
like you
It's more
get
contagious, I
you
think.
get like this buzz when we make this show, and then
Yeah,
you know throughout the day that's with you. You're carrying that with you. You're emulating that, and other people are picking up on that same energy.
that's the reason why we named it the Couch Show, because it's like, you know, when you were like with a, remember when you were, or even now when you're just with friends and you're just all chilling around the couch and
Just
you're
on the
telling
couch,
jokes
out,
and
no
making
worries.
laughing at each other, and then you guys get into that really good laugh and you're just like belly aching laugh, you can't breathe, and that's how contagious like being funny and humor and laughter is. And like that's, after that you're just like, man, I feel good. Or like even after you just watch a really good comedy and you just feel good, like that's the power of positivity and laughter and just being, you know, just positive overall. It's just, it's very infectious and very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Akinator said, literally. So
Well,
the stars in
literally
the skies, he
too, we'll
literally
talk
can.
about that too. Yeah, we'll talk
Yes.
about that in the sense that,
So, like by you, Ray, it's a lot easier to see the stars than by me. You know, and I live in the country too, but I live, you know, in a more populated area. It's more like a city. I'm considered the city. Like when all the schools close down, our district never closes because we're in the city.
mm,
But it's true, you know, and like you go outside and even on the clear sky when when the clouds aren't there,
mhm.
you know, it is hard. What I am noticing is you can see planets now, which when we were kids, I feel like that wasn't a thing. You wouldn't look up and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a planet." It was just like a bunch of stars. So now it's kind of cool that these really bright
Yeah, I have stars. I
objects.
mean, on a real clear night, man, the stars are amazing. But once again, do you think that's like due to population, or no, due to pollution? Like, is it due to, you know, like, are we really polluting the air that bad where we can't see the stars? Is it because, you know, some places is just well lit that it's just drowning out the stars?
I think it's the
Um,
light pollution. I think it's just the brightness that's around you. Like, so for me, you know, being close to a city, there's always lights on.
okay.
You know, it's never dark. Whereas by you, it gets dark. There's not a lot of people.
It's not a lot of people. But what did you say? Oh, it's so beautiful out here. You want to celebrate your oldest birthday party, right? You're like, hey, we're
Heck
gonna celebrate
yeah,
his
it's
birthday in
gorgeous
August.
out
It's
there. Get
gorgeous
away
out
from
here.
all the
It is.
people.
It's nice. It really is. It's just, it's
Mhm.
a hike. It's a hike. That's why, like,
Ah. So I used to just keep watching stars for hours, listening to the grasshoppers and katydids. I don't know what
Caddy,
those are, but
but
now the
now,
population made hard to see. Yeah, exactly. It's the light pollution.
and once
Um,
again, that's where I say, like, we don't, I don't think we have a climate issue. Like, I don't think we have like, oh, we got to save the planet, but we got to save the planet, and that we just got to spread out.
mhm.
Like, I feel like the condensed areas are what's causing the majority of the problem, right? So we
Yeah.
need to spread out. And then once again, if we want to really talk about, you know, saving the environment, then we got to put the politics aside and we got to call out the countries that are really polluting the planet.
Mhm.
China, India, like, we won't call them out because they're the ones mass producing all our products.
Mhm.
So then what are we doing? Like, you have all these like politicians that are like, oh, we got to go green. And then they fly what? Private jets, right?
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Or they'll take a chopper across, you know, across Manhattan because they don't want to get caught in traffic, right? It's like, come on. I thought we needed to go green.
Wait, so Fuzz, you're in the Poconos now?
No,
That's
he
Ray's
just said
backyard.
he said
He
he
said he
never
never
got,
gets cellular
yeah,
service in the
in the
Poconos.
Poconos. Yeah,
Yeah, so is he in the Poconos now? No service?
The Poconos. No, because then he wouldn't be here right now.
I think that's what he's saying. I don't know. I don't know. He's like coming in and out. He's usually
Poconos is
more
beautiful,
active in the
man.
comments.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy. So when there's definitely a difference in what it sounds like at night in the city versus like in the country. And so out here at night, there's a lot of grasshoppers and the
hmm
crickets. Maybe that's what he was saying, the crickets. And it's almost like a creepy sound. Like if you're not used to it, it's kind of creepy at night when all you hear are those like random
Well,
buzzing
I mean,
from the bugs.
it's just a kind of white noise. It's a white noise like I remember when we moved upstate, when the first time we moved upstate, and shoot, I think it was like 9 or 10, and like there was no city noise. It was like super quiet.
Hmm.
And then eventually you start hearing like the crickets and all that, and it's like, okay, that's the new white noise as far as like how quiet it was, in the city.
That
The
that
thing,
replaced the gunshots and sirens of the city.
yeah, yeah, like it was weird, growing up and not hearing those noises, man.
Hmm.
Not for me, like I gotta hear those noises because that it just, especially like when my kids are not here and I'm just here in the house all by myself,
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta hear some form of life. I'm just sitting around and I'm like, all right, I hear bugs. All right, life is still going on. There's still something out there. Like, you ever had those I don't know. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like an out of body moment, but just like a moment where like you just think and you're like, wait a minute, could I possibly be like the only person alive right now? Or like I'm like it's just weird. Like he's just focusing on like, you take a moment and you just in deep thought and you're like, wait, what? Could I
Hmm.
could I just be the only? And then you're like, wait a minute, I gotta start
It like
freaking out.
snaps you back to reality.
Yeah,
Like, wait a
yeah,
minute.
yeah, yeah. Wait a minute. I think of stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm sitting here right now and the zombie apocalypse could be happening
Could
right
be
now.
happening. Yep. Oh man, I was sitting in the car with my girlfriend the other day, and all the kids came running, and they were all like on the car with their hands. I was like, "Holy shit! Is this the start of the zombie apocalypse right now for kids?" Oh, it was so good. So I am gonna drop the link in the comments, and if anybody wants to jump on, say hello.
Let's reintroduce the show. We're at the top of the hour, so man, that went by quick. Every time I look up there, I'm like, oh shit, this has been an hour.
Yeah, right. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Welcome to Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn. He's
I'm
Ray.
Ray.
And through this channel, we just aim to be givers. We're givers of love, we're givers of good vibes, and we're givers of strength through conversation. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss our next live. We're usually live Tuesdays and Thursdays, late mornings.
So pull up Akinator's last comment before you drop the link. He said Truman Show. Have you watched that?
I have not. I have no clue what that is.
So that was a movie. That was a Jim Carrey movie
Mm-hmm.
where from the day he was born, he was on a TV show, and so his whole life, like it was like this huge like dome that they made, and they made like this whole town, and it was the whole set, and everybody on that show, other than him, were actors.
Okay.
And so like his whole life was on a like a movie screen or like a TV show. It was like a 24/7, 24-hour, 7-day a week like TV show. People were tuning in, just watching him.
Mm-hmm.
You never seen that movie? You should watch it. It's pretty cool. And then like one day, like it was funny because like one day, one of the lights from the rafters all the way up in the sky just like fell. And so it was almost like a Chicken Little moment for him where he was like the sky's falling kind of deal. And he was like, what the hell? And so then he started like realizing that he was on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me, the part that really picks up is when like he leaves the set. Like I want to see that part. Like how does he like really like, acclimates to the whole the world who now knows him and he's like super famous.
Right.
Like I want to see that part. Like they left me hanging. I was like, damn it. So no pressure, guys. We'll just drop the link down. Like I said, if you guys want to talk about anything, we're open to talk about anything. If you don't want to show your face, don't show your face. That's fine with us too. And whatever, you just want to drop in and say hi. We haven't checked the link. Nobody actually called in before, but that's fine. Yeah, it's no pressure. We just, like I said, we want this show to be for you guys. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're here, we're just ranting, shooting, laughing, having a good time. And if there's something that, burning something that you want to talk about, jump on the show and we'll talk about it. like I said, we're open to talk about anything. Nothing is really taboo on here. I think that's what's healthy for discourse, and I think that's what all this censoring that's going on. I feel like it just creates a sense where people don't want to talk about stuff that's going on in their lives because they don't want to be censored. They don't want to be labeled and they don't want to be censored. And I get it. That's why I'm like, look, no, nothing is censored here. Nothing is tabooed. I think we, as adults, we can have discourse. We can walk away. We could talk about something and then walk away and then be like, look, let's agree to disagree. I see things differently. You see things differently, and that's what makes us unique. But I think we can have discourse. And if anybody has any problems with me, I'll take that too. I'm cool with that too. Look, I'd rather have a conversation with somebody who truly disagrees with me over somebody who's like, "Oh, Ray, you're right, you're right." I want to talk to the people who disagree because that will help me maybe change my view. Maybe I'm seeing something in a very narrow, tunnel vision, and having a conversation with somebody will help me, see things differently. I've done that before where I had a conversation, I walked away with a different opinion.
And even if it doesn't change your opinion, at least like you have a new perspective.
Buzz, I would love to talk to you, brother. Just jump on. Don't worry about how you sound, man. If there's one thing, the first time to do it is the hardest time. Like, look, we sounded horrible when we started the show. I think our first show might be private, to be honest with you, or we deleted it or something like that. Because we just sounded so horrible. It is what it is, man. You got to start somewhere. So, Fuzz, if you want to jump on, brother. I want to talk to you. Fuzz is, by the way, Fuzz is our first viewer. He was like the first guy who watched, comment, and just like he's been following us since like what is it now? Fuzz, like 20, 30 shows now. He's just been riding with us, so I would love to hear from you, Fuzz. Like I said, the day that we actually get to a point where we're making shirts and we're doing like merch and stuff like that, I would love to make it like a Fuzz shirt to support us and thank you. Like, yo, Fuzz, you rode with us. And of course, again, thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching us, giving us a shot here on YouTube. I know there's a lot of other content that you guys could be watching right now, but you're here riding with us. I appreciate that. That makes me very humble. That me and my sister, we could come on here, we could talk about things, we could express our opinions. I know.
I'm still here.
Yeah, she's I know. Back in the day, we had another viewer. His name was Trist, and me and him, we got into a heated debate. And that's what the show is about. Unfortunately, I don't know if because of that debate he walked away, or he'll come back. He'll pop back in. I know he will. And but that's what I want. I want the show to be all about that. It's like, I want somebody to be like, hey, I didn't agree with Ray, but he didn't boot me off his show. He didn't censor me. We talked and we had a conversation. He let me say my piece. Because that's how we do the counterculture. That's how we counterculture all this censorship that's going on. It's crazy that you can't have an opinion about something that took control of your life the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Like if your opinion about this whole thing that took over your life the last 2 years if it goes against the narrative, you're censored, right? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you can't ask questions about, something they want to put in your body. Mm-hmm. It's crazy that you can't say, hey, you know what? Is it weird that I want to wait a few years to see how the trial runs and how, what's any side effects? No, it's perfect. You can't question it. You can't say it has side effects. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Even with a lot of like I wish I could like think of it right now, but there's a lot of controversy because there's I want to say like Justin Bieber when he had his whole like his face like
went half his face, yes.
Yeah, like he's not the only one, and there's other few things that
a young guy that's young. There's stories of young people collapsing, and now there's more and more articles coming out talking about blood clots, and I'm like, hold up, why are these articles popping out within the last year?
That's what it
Like,
blood spots. Yes.
what's the common thing? And it's like, it's
You're
crazy
not
that
allowed to say that. You're not allowed to make that
right,
connection.
you can't make that connection. You can't be analytical and go 1+1=2. If you go and you say that, they're gonna censor you. They're gonna ban you. That's crazy. That's the state of it. That's the state of where where we are in society.
Mm-hmm. Thank you,
It's
Mom. By
crazy.
the way, I got your text. Mom complimented my hair. I'm like, ooh, thank you.
Tadashi said your show is best when having dinner. I laugh. I totally know what you're talking about, because there's times where I'll be eating dinner late at night and I'll be listening to like Tim Pool. He comes on like around here 8 o'clock Eastern, so I'll be listening to him, and I'm like, yeah. Shout out to Tim Pool. He's definitely definitely a big influence on me. I don't know if you guys haven't known already. I watch him, and I definitely he's definitely going against the whole counterculture.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like my influence to do this and actually come on here and talk with my sister, I said it in the past. Opie and Anthony is a big influence. Joe Rogan, Tim Pool. Those are the kind of people I listen to, and that's why I want to be part of that counterculture, that whole movement. It's like, let's get out there, but in the same sense, I do want to do it in a positive way. Because like I watched Tim Pool and I'm like, he's constantly talking about like Civil War and constantly talking about like World War III, and I'm like, man, that's negativity. You're kind of wishing that kind of thing. It's like, no, let's talk about positivity. Let's talk about how we can, rebuild as a community and stop all of this from happening.
Yeah, it's how we can unite and recreate that sense of community.
Right. Let's spark that creativity. Let's talk about how we make the new Star Wars, how we make the new Marvel and DC. Let's talk about how we make, inspire people to go against that, because there is an audience. This is an audience that's starving for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, power of positivity. I believe it, man. Oh, yesterday was so beautiful. Like me and my youngest, we went to Legoland, and it was hot. Oh my goodness!
It was a hot day.
Let me tell you, it was so hot. It was hot to the point where the little kid, he was like, I don't want to be out here no more. Can we go home? And I was like, but what about the rides? We're at an amusement park. You don't want to do it? And he's like, no, it's too hot. But in a way, I appreciate those moments. Like I'm blessed to have time and bonding with my son. And then I'm afterwards, we went and we had dinner with my mother. And so, 3 generations of bonding. Like I'm still blessed that I can do that,
Yeah.
And I was talking to Ma yesterday, and like, this is my perspective in life. And I'll tell you guys too, like I told Ma, I was like, Ma, I'm not going to be sad when you pass away. If anything, I'm going to be very, I'm going to be somber, but I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy in a way, because you lived a full life. You were blessed in that sense that you had a full life, right? Like you didn't know the struggles. You're happy with your life. You had, you got to see us grow. You got to see your grandkids grow. Like you're even even where she lives, like she's blessed to have friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was so excited yesterday. She was so excited. Like she was like, "Hey, Ray, I need you to take me to where I can get markers." I was like, "Markers?" And she's like, "Yeah, me and my girlfriends, we started coloring. We're doing adult coloring. So we sit outside and we're doing the coloring. And afterwards, when I dropped her off, she's like, let me go upstairs, guys. I gotta go get my stuff." And she came back downstairs with this big box of all her stuff, and like she sat it on the table and everything. And like they started coloring, and that's what they do. Like that's and like I'm happy for her that she can have those friends, that she could sit. And it's sad because they were coloring the rocks around the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And the apartment complex, once again, that negative energy. They told them like they can't do that.
Do that. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like they're being creative. Like once again, we're in a society that stifles creativity, right? Mm-hmm. And so then they were like, well, we're not gonna, perseverance. They were like, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna use coloring books. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of cool to see that. And like me and Lynn, we talk about like putting it out to the universe, and the universe will provide, right? Speak things into existence. So Ma wanted the markers, and here in New York, they're still under like Kofifi rules. So like stores still closes at 7. So we went to, we went to have dinner, and then after dinner, she was like, "Can we go?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go. Maybe go to the mall. We'll go to Five and Below or something like that." Because I was like, I don't know where to go. And she was like, she didn't want like the cheap stuff. So I was like, all right, so maybe Five and Below will have better stuff.
Oh,
so
man.
we went, but Five and Below was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And so once again, me being optimistic, if I was one of the types that was like, oh well, Eeyore, gloom and doom, I'd be like, it's closed, first obstacle in your life, let's go home, right? No, I was like, well, you know what, Target's right up the way, let's go check out Target.
Yeah.
And so she found markers that were like on sale, 50 cents. I was like, what? This is crazy. I don't even tell her to take a photo. I was like, we're going to have to argue with somebody. I was like, you're going to have to talk to the manager because they got this labeled at 50 cents when they were normally like $3, $4. So she was ready to argue, and we went, and sure enough, it scanned 50 cents, and she got her markers. So I was happy for her. Yeah. But that's a little life story of like how to look things, be optimistic, believe that the universe wants you to win, and be, have perseverance, keep going, right? Yeah. It's a simple story, but it's like, just keep, that's the facts of life, man. Be optimistic, know that things will prevail, you're going to win in the end. You just got to you got to keep going. You can't stop at the first obstacle,
I love that you went on like a positivity rant today. Like usually, like you go on rant about like aliens or.
But I live this. I live this. I'm constantly telling myself that I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. And right now, no matter what struggles I go through right now in my life, I know that I'm blessed. I got you. Right. I got my kids. I got mom. I got my friends. I got new friends. I got old friends. I got extended family. Listen. I live this. So I gotta practice what I preach.
So nobody's message is really touching. You guys are awesome. I used to feel so sad and depressed, always feared and worried. But since I joined you guys, I feel my whole day motivated and energetic. Lots of people spotted differences in me.
Man, that's oh so man,
beautiful.
Amen. Yes.
That's so beautiful.
No, but you know what? I love that you listen. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. That touches me that we can do that. But I'm glad that you're taking action and you're changing in yourselves. Yeah. Because that's what I want for everybody who watches this. If you can walk away with a little positivity, a little pep in your step, and then to the point where people are acknowledging it, man, you're going to go far. You're going to go far because you have a better outlook in life. Yeah. You're going to realize that any kind of struggle, you're going to have a smile on your face. All right, so I'm gonna nerd out now. You wanted me to nerd out? I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. So, me and my kids were big into anime. Right, we like watching the animes like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. And there's one called My Hero Academia, right? Okay. And the main guy in there, right? My Hero Academia, right? Nope. And we haven't watched it in a while, so I forgot the character's name. But the main superhero, right? That he got like super strength, and he's always fighting the guys. But he said it. He was like, I go through like the hardest battles, and you'll see me bloody, and you see me getting my ass beat and all that. But he's doing it with a smile on his face. And he's always like that. And that's his thing. He's just very optimistic. Yeah, he has superhero powers, but even when he's gone up to, he's fighting a villain that's like giving, toe to toe, he doesn't like run and quit, right? He's not like, oh my God, in a negative, aspect. No, he does it, but he does it with a smile on his face. It's like, man, you're kicking my ass. Let's go, right? Like that's how he is. And that's how that's like a metaphor for like life, man. You just got to do it that way. Like, it's like, yo, life, you're kicking my ass. Let's go.
I mean, you have to remember that this moment right here, the one that you're experiencing right now, is the best. Yes. It's the best it's going to be because things that have already happened, that's it. They've already happened. You can't change them. And things that are to come, it's not here yet. It's in the future. So even if in the moment, like you're experiencing pain, maybe you're sad, you're hurting on the inside. Maybe, you kicked the corner because you were walking too fast around the house and now your toe hurts. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Even if you're experiencing pain, you're experiencing joy, you have to accept and appreciate that you're experiencing it. You're alive right now to experience it.
Plus, if you go through life with the mindset that everything that happens for a reason, When you go through when you go through your struggles, when you go through hard times, you're gonna be like, why am I going through this? There's a lesson to be learned. You're gonna ask yourself, what is that lesson to be learned? So you could have that victim mentality, right? You can have that mindset and be like, why is this happening to me? And be all woe is me, woe is me. Or you could be like, all right, what's there to learn? Like Lynn, in her scenario where you know, even if you stub your toe, there are people when they stub their toe, they're like, why is life so like this?
Everything happens to me. This sucks.
Yep. Right? Or you could be like, damn, that hurt. I'm not doing this next time. And when you come around that corner, you're gonna learn and be like, I'm not gonna stub my toe. Let me juke it, right? Right? As basic as an example that could be, right? That's exactly how you gotta have that outcome in life. So, like, let's say you were in a bad relationship, right? You're dating, you had a bad relationship, and you're like, why did she? Oh my God, why is she cheating? Right? He treated me like this. Oh my God, you know, I deserve better. This is horrible. Or you could be like, all right, there's a lesson to be learned. Let me not pick people like this. You know, if I know I don't want to be treated like this, I deserve better. Let me love myself and get somebody that's better. You know? There's always a lesson to be learned in everything we do, good or bad. We just got to be open to that lesson. Because the universe is trying to teach us.
Through on nobody. I hope every person in the world may get angels like you.
Oh, thank you, man. I'll just listen.
Wow, that message made me cry, thanking the Lord.
Hey, man, I'm not trying to get spiritual up here.
The show is so inspirational.
Look, I'm not trying to get spiritual on here. Because once again, you know,
angels are meant to come into our life. I'm happy for the day I clicked on your stream.
Oh, amen, amen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm so happy.
See, that's motivation, Lynn.
Yeah, we really are. We really are.
Like, quit the show, man. People are rooting for us. Yeah. But listen, I'm rooting for you guys. I listen. I keep saying my goal is for us to meet up. I want to do a meetup. I want to do a traveling show. Then we got to get in the car. We got to do a traveling show.
Yeah.
When we start to get big, we gotta go around and we gotta meet people. But I want to do this live.
I say we just get a jet.
We're going green. Let's get a jet. I mean, we could go green and just drive around in a Tesla.
Yeah. Yes, producer, we are blushing. I know I am. On the cheek. Yeah.
But listen. That's how you know we can't fake this shit. We're keeping it real. Like, we are very touched by you guys. You know, that motivates us, and hopefully when like I said, I want to stay humble. I really want to stay humble. Yeah. Like, I don't want this to get to my head, and if it does, I want you guys to call me out on it. Be like, you said you were gonna stay humble. Now look at you. You gotta need a red carpet. This guy. Got a big head physically.
Oh, Tadashi. All right, so I'm glad you brought this up. So he said he was about to cry when on our 50th show, we said that was it. It was going to be our last show. He said, you know, for him, it was a nightmare. But I'm glad you brought that up because I actually went back and I saw that show. And what I noticed is that, like, yes, we do want to pivot, but we don't want to stop doing this. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what it made me realize is that we are on the right track and we just have to keep pushing forward. You know, it's not so much that we have to pivot. We just have to learn new things. And right now I'm learning the back end.
Yeah, you got to figure out the algorithm. Really, that's what it is, because I really do feel like, and this is how we all started this. Listen, we tried walking away from it. The universe won't let us. We tried. We tried. And I waited. I was like, look, I love doing this, but if my sister doesn't want to do it, it's 50-50. I'm not going to force it on you. Yeah. And I was like, you got to feel this show. And it took a whole year, but you brought that mic and you put it in front. I was like, what are we doing? And you're like, we're doing the show again. I miss it. And I was like, okay. So then that's how we started. And just being consistent. Yes, we got to do the work. Once again, we got to practice what we preach. We got to put in the work. We got to do the work. We got to be out there. You know, we got to be consistent. We got to be on here. We got to be held accountable, be on this show. But in the same sense, we're learning. We got to figure out the algorithm. So we can't lose out hope, because I know that right now we're going through a dark time, and we need voices like us to come out and be like, look, if we got to do it together, but let's do it with a smile on our face. Yeah. Let's keep being positive. Let's do it. And I love to hear the comments because it's resonating with you guys. Like you guys are
Yes.
walking away and you guys are like, I'm on the right track. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do, and then you feel it, and then other people are seeing it. Because once again, one of the biggest things that I used to tell myself was, don't tell people what you're gonna do. Tell people what you did. Because if you tell them what you're gonna do, they're gonna hold you down. If you tell them what you did, they're gonna applaud. So always tell people what you did. Don't tell them what you're about to do.
Good one. That's a good one. You guys
No. I don't want to be a pastor, even though listen, I am official.
Positivity.
Well, go slow. Let's read the comments. Read the comments. I don't want.
All right. So
while we
LOL.
can, I want to read comments because they're gonna go by fast, and I hate it that once we grow, all your comments are gonna go by so quick, and we can acknowledge you guys because I really want to acknowledge like every one of you guys. If you ride with us, I want to acknowledge you guys. But when the channel starts picking up, it's gonna get crazy. I know it is.
Actually, Ma told me. So I hung out with Ma the day before you guys hung out with her, and or the same day. I don't know. I think it was earlier in the day. But one of the things she told me was that we missed her message the other day. I was like, oh man, that's what Ray was talking about. We're gonna start missing messages.
We are gonna.
Yes, that was kind of
it's
like
our own mother.
Like
it's our own mother.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, and once again, I'm not promoting this, but that's the reason why YouTube created Super Chats, because it was a way to kind of keep those messages present. And, you got to pay for that feature, but it was like, keep it there because they go by so quick. And it's like, but it's just you guys just talking, and I love it. Like, I want you guys to start talking to each other. I know there was a conversation that was going on in the comments in one episode.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. Like, that they were going back and forth and stuff like that, because you don't know. We tend to be our own worst critic, right? Like we tend to be very hard on each other. I'm notoriously guilty for that. Like that's why nobody can hurt me, because I hurt myself internally, right? I suffer from very low self-esteem at times, right? And I do that to myself. And so you don't know, like you could put something out and you don't know how your words might have an effect on somebody, or you may have a skill set that somebody needs in their life at this moment. That's why, like, I do truly believe in the universe. So when you say something that you may think you're weak in, but then somebody else is looking for that, and just the fact that you may have some knowledge to it, you can now connect. And I hope that we try to, we build that community. That's part of being a community, right? So I hope for all that stuff, because that to me is worth more than, the financial stuff on YouTube is nice, but that right there, that's what I want.
Yeah.
The fact that people are saying like, yo, your words are resonating and I'm changing.
And nobody said, I will not hurt you. I
will not hurt you either, brother. That's a pact. Pinky swear. You got a pinky swear right now, nobody. I'll try not. Listen, I'm human, but my heart's not like that. I don't want to hurt nobody unless I have to, of course. If I gotta go in, I gotta go in. That's a Latino in me. If I have to. It's like, you threaten my kids, it's a wrap. I will take your life with these bare hands.
All right, guys, we're actually gonna close off on that. Let's.
There's so many comments. Let's go through the comments.
We pulled everything up.
But did you read them? I didn't see them. I want to acknowledge them.
Oh, okay. So you told me to slow down right here. So you guys are meant to spread the good word.
Thank you.
LOL, your podcast sparked creativity and positivity in me. That's awesome. I'm so I don't know. It feels really good to know that we're having this effect on, so many people's lives. Because this is your life. This is your life. Your every day that you're telling me that, you're carrying some of our energy with you. And that's a blessing.
But that's the thing. It's like, once again, the fact that you guys are willing to listen to us for an hour and a half, that's even more like that. Like an hour and a half into the show and we're still getting comments. It's like you guys riding with us. Like you guys are ride or die at this point. That's awesome. Like I love you guys for that. Like I love you. I love you. And like, listen, you guys are in my prayers. I wish the best for you guys. I know you guys are in my prayers and you're in my mother's prayers. Because my mom, she will do that. She prays for everybody. She's like, especially a nobody. You were saying some sad stuff last time, and like she was like, "Why does he say that? And he's a nobody." he's somebody, he should really like love himself and all that. And I was like, Mom, people just use names and tags on YouTube. It's not like that. It's like, no, but I want him to know that he needs to love himself because I love him, man. And he's a God's creature and all that stuff. Not to be all preachy, but that's that's how my mom is. And I was like, Mom, people just use names like crazy. I was like, at one point, I had a tag on YouTube. I was just Ray Solo. I'm not solo. I got all you guys, right? I have family. I just had it because I like Han Solo. So instead of being Han Solo, I was Ray Solo, right? It's like, that's it. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, tell him anyway because I don't want to take it. So that's our mother. She's yelling at you or nobody.
Yep.
In a good way, in a motherly way. She loves you. She loves you. She loves everybody.
No,
that's where we get it. We get those. Yeah.
Say, thank you, Mom, with the heart.
Yeah, so that if you want to know where we get it, that's where we get it from. The no censor comes from our mother, and the big heart comes from our mother because that's how she raised us. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to go back to the producer's comment. He said, Pastor Ray, and it's funny because I got a little story to close out. We'll tell. I got to tell this funny little story.
Okay.
The Congregation of Positivity. So I was gonna tell him like, no, I don't want to be a pastor. No, I don't want this to seem like it's a cult. No, it's more like self-help. No, don't go that way. But honestly, I'm actually a mundane minister. I went through, I signed up. I'm legally this because back when I was working, right, I didn't want to take the vaccine. So I was like, well, I don't have a medical excuse for it. So I can't go for the medical exception, but I was going to go for the religious exception. And I was like, but I don't really practice religion like that. I don't go to a church. There's nobody who's going to sign off on this. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm my own church, right? I was like, I do have my relationship with my maker, with my God, right? So I went and I'm legal in Pennsylvania. I'm legal in New Jersey. So I was going to write my own exception letter and be like, because, and my church is my home. So I was ready to do that. But then, my blessings came in where I was able to just walk away. So I was like, I'm not going to jump through these hoops. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to play your game. I'm just going to walk away. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah. So in closing, it's funny. Like I thought about that. So yeah, I am.
The producer said, so can you preside over my marriage?
I can. That's legally what I can do. I can. And they reached out to me. They were like, do you want material for your congregation and stuff like that? I was like, no.
Oh, that's so good.
But I'm not gonna lie. I thought about declaring my home as my church, right? So I could get the tax breaks. But then there's like so many obstacles, and I think the IRS comes and they audit you.
You have to have people actually come to your house, and
well, yeah, and you have to have your designated area that you actually preach at. So it's like I would have to convert my garage into my church.
You have the space.
I do have the space.
Long term.
Yeah, it's like why are you judging me? I got a small congregation. It's just me and my kids right now. But like I said it before, I do believe in God. I do have, but I find my way of like my relationship through my God is through everything else. Like I feel like I have a connection with him through everything, through my music, through nature, through just the events that happen in my life. It's like it's my way, it's God's way of touching me. It's my way of talking and communicating with my Lord. It's not something like I don't feel like I have to go to church there because there's negativity in church too. Mm-hmm. So there's negativity everywhere. That breaks my heart because people are going there looking for help, and then they could just have somebody who they're putting their opinion for whatever it may be, their negativity, and then they shoo that person away when they're in their time of need. So that's the. Don't get me wrong, the church has their positivities too, but that's the things that I don't like that. But.
Okay, Ray.
That's it. That's my closing.
Ordained pastor.
So I can officiate marriages. Yes, I can. And it will be legally binding in the state of New York.
This kitten is going crazy in my house right now.
Why?
Like it's just doing laps. So the way the downstairs of my house is, like it's I have like a big circle, like a big loop. So this cat's just running between like the 4 rooms in my house, just doing circles.
Well, isn't that what you made? Didn't you make like an obstacle course for the cats?
You know what? It wasn't for the cats. It was for my kids. I had like the little scooters. I had an indoor scooter that they would ride around the house.
Oh, okay. But you, for those who don't know, Lynn is a halfway house for kittens.
Mm-hmm.
So she has like all this stuff at her house for cats because she'll take them in, she'll like give them a home because she loves kittens, and then there's you said somebody else or an organization that actually finds a home,
organization, and they're the ones who actually place the cats. And
finds
I
their
just
forever
like
home
2 or 3 kittens at a time until they find their
Yeah.
forever home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It is
Kids
cool.
like it. There's always kittens in the house.
Yeah, it is cool. And you always have kittens.
Yeah.
Which everybody loves puppies and kittens. They love them when they're babies. They don't like them when they get older.
Exactly. It's
always
nice.
has
You get
them.
to like experience like a little kitten phase, and it's like, all right.
But
adios.
it also helps. You also help because you're alleviating, the cost of the maintaining the cats, but you're also potty training them. So they can go and say, hey, these kittens are potty trained. And so they're like, oh, okay. Most people are more open to that when they're like their house broken,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The producer in the background, he said, talk to me about cats. That's actually the organization that I work with, that I foster for. And
Shout out to them.
Adopt cats.
Shout out to them because you know what? That's what we need. We need more people doing good things in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's another thing we should do. We should do that.
Out of a town that doesn't have a cat shelter, an animal shelter.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Yeah, let's start doing. Let's bring to light more good stories, not just the topical ones and the bad ones. Though we need to bring to light the badness too, so we can fix it. But let's show some good people out there. Warriors that are, taking into action.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need more people like that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for riding with us. We will see you on Tuesday.
The producer said, sorry for the shameless plug. I'm actually kind of ecstatic that people are plugging on our show. It's like, I want to find a bigger show and plug us, but it's like, wow, people are plugging on our show. Hey, cool. Thank you, guys. And this is the weekend. So have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, shoot us an email and we'll talk about anything. So love you guys and have a wonderful weekend.